I've been paying attention recently to Bellator, and I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, I'm going to project my opinion on you right now. I feel like it's kind of coming out of the spotlight a little bit, you know? Like, there's not many huge fights going on anymore. Rory McDonald is coming to the end of his career, and that's kind of a huge star that they have. Gegard Mousasi says he only has a couple fights left. The chins of these way older guys, the legends that they have on their roster in the heavyweight division, like Fedor and Rampage. Chael Sonnen's retired. Lyoto Machida hasn't got much left in the tank, I'm sure. I mean, I feel like the hype is kind of going away. They've sort of failed to build the young stars that they needed. The new generation, like it is in the UFC with your Conor McGregor's come sweeping through, Israel Adesanya comes sweeping through. It hasn't really happened that way at Bellator. When you think about these young stars, Aaron Pico is a perfect example. Someone who had a lot of hype behind him. They don't seem to be breaking the barrier to the top of the Bellator rankings. And I feel like in the next few months, if something big doesn't happen here, I feel like Bellator might die down a little bit. And we'll see what happens. Because we might be seeing some Bellator to UFC signings real soon, to be honest with you. I like having Bellator around. But I feel like the hype around the events, I mean, I guess they've got Cyborg versus Julia Budd. I just can't. I'm not too interested. Gallagher's fighting Eleanor in Ireland. MVP is just fighting more and more cans. There's no real big fun fights for MVP other than maybe a Douglas Lima rematch. But even then, I'm not too interested, you know. I mean, I just feel like Bellator has failed to get guys the big wins that they need to get. If that makes sense. And it's happened to a lot of guys. And I don't know why it's happened to a lot of guys, but fuck it, man. I mean, Bellator, in my opinion, shouldn't even have frequent cards, like, at all. I mean, listen, you're in a moment right now where we just had a massive 3-week gap in the UFC. We've got another week of it left, and there's no huge Bellator card to fill that gap. That's what Bellator should be doing. Bellator should be finding gaps in the UFC's schedule and putting on, boom, 3 championships on a row, one night. Massive fight. That's what Bellator's strategy, I feel like, should be right now. Yes, have the weekly fight nights. Maybe not weekly, but once a month. But when you really see a gap in the UFC's schedule, I feel like Bellator's game plan should just be, let's put on a massive night of fights and steal the spotlight while no one's watching UFC. Because I don't really know what they're going to do from here. Do they just keep taking the scraps from the UFC roster? Are we going to see Lawler in Bellator? Carlos Condit? Diego Sanchez eventually, if he leaves the other promotion that he's with? Who knows what we're going to see? Does Gilbert Melendez make a return? Or how is Bellator going to survive of just old recycled talent at the end of their career when they can't really get the young talent over the gap to get to championship level fights? They've got some figuring out to do. And it's a tough business. And I can't imagine running my own fucking promotional company. But must be tough. We'll see what they have in them. Scott Coker, I believe in him. Get back on the coke, eh? Use that nose and get back to work. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. Goodbye.